a minute. So, uh, a very warm welcome to one and all those who are joining us and listening to us right now or later. Uh, I'm Aditya, CEO of Training Vision Institute Global Education. I'm really delighted to present to you all a really important and pertinent topic for the moment, for the time right now. The topics on effective communication. And as part of our Career Vision series, for those of you who are new to these webinars, we're giving clarity, awareness, and a certain information for helping students and young professionals strategize their early careers. Unprecedented times deserve unprecedented measures. We've seen that a lot of students have been affected by the pandemic. Uh, there's a recent report that we're reading, and we've come to also understand that the future of work, the future of jobs is already here thanks to the pandemic. So we should be really talking about the today of jobs and what is going on right now in terms of the career opportunities for a lot of students and young professionals who are planning to launch their careers or strategize and transition their careers towards industries with certain growth outlook. And we are looking at certain skills and competencies that are transferable, that are universally relevant across job roles, across levels, across functions. And so excited to invite and have here with us Miss Mamatha Grace, who is herself a career development expert. She's a trainer. She's a British Council CELTA certified trainer. She has previously been involved with the employment generation mission of the Indian government, and she's helped so much and she's served so much, and she has a lot of experience to bring, a lot of practical wisdom to bring. So I'm really excited and hope all of us make the most and learn from this session. um, Mamta is also with a leading organization in the IT space now, and she's really at the forefront of what's going on in terms of careers. So this is really going to be her space. Over to you, Mamata. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much, Aditya, for that wonderful introduction. I hope I'm audible and visible.
Very much.
Great. So, welcome everyone to the webinar on how effective communication can help you get unlimited opportunities. In the next couple of minutes, we will spend some time to understand why is there an increasing importance for this, and how can we get up for it. So before I start, I'm going to share my introduction, and I'm also going to put it up on the screen for you to read. And for those of you who are listening in, you can also listen to it when I read, and do listen and read carefully because I have a few questions after this. Hello, everyone. I'm a business savvy, result driven, and team oriented leader offering solid credentials coupled with experience in developing, leading, and maximizing performance of both individuals and teams. Strong leader in driving change and accomplished at developing and championing corporate culture, vision, and mission. Recognized as an excellent communicator with a proven ability to diffuse highly charged situations by quickly responding to people issues and providing exceptional level of comfort for both management and staff. A strategic business partner and catalyst for innovation initiatives that address today's business challenges of attaining revenue goals and satisfying customers. I'm capable of transitioning underperforming organizations into highly effective ones, as well as leading organizations through accelerated growth or rapid change. Strategic planner and sound decision maker focused on both bottom line results, superior service quality, and internal and external customer satisfaction. I hope you got a chance to read through and also listen in. So the question for you is, who am I? If you felt confused about what I was trying to tell in my introduction, you are on the right page with me. It is pretty worded, it is pretty confusing, but these are the kind of introductions I get to hear every day when I interview people. So good evening, everyone. My name is Mamatha. Um, Aditya has given a very good introduction about me. I've trained over 15,000 people so far, and I've also placed over 600 people through the employment generation program. And today I'm here because I'm passionate to help people become successful and also help you drive to the right career path as you plan to either start your career soon or are already on the verge of beginning your careers. So, without any further ado, let's get started. You have seen this wordy introduction about me on the slide, and of course, I introduced myself to you much later. The kind of introductions that I get to hear every day as a recruiter are pretty flamboyant and definitely something that is taken off the internet. While that might seem amusing for your recruiter, your first 90 seconds is what helps you create that impression for a person who is interviewing you. So it's really important that you make it succinct and also relevant for the job role that you're applying for. So I have over 18 years of experience, and if I sit and talk about my entire 18 years, I'm sure we can do a series of webinars going on. However, for this forum, what is relevant is what I have used. So keep your introduction simple when you go for a job interview, and also ensure that it really connects with the people. So in the next couple of minutes, what we will be looking at is why is communication skills important. I know the moment we talk about communication skills, the first thing that comes into your mind is speaking in English or probably writing in English. But today we are not going to look at any of it because I know you have host of videos that you can look up on the internet to get the answers that you have. But today I'm going to talk about why is there an increasing importance for communication skills. We will also spend some time to understand how do we progress in careers using communication skills as a key. And of course, if you're a good communicator, what are some of the career options that you have in the current market? So before I start, I want to quickly understand what you know about communication skills. And for that, I will ask Aditya to bring up a survey where you will see a list of skills that are given. And I want you to go ahead and rank them in the order of importance or criticality in the current work scenario. It's very simple. You will see a list of skills. All you got to do is rank them according to the business criticality of utilizing these skills. So go ahead, you have the next 30 seconds to click and respond.
So you would have to go to menti.com, menti.com, and use the code 51082403.
The skills listed are very simple, so please go ahead and rank them according to what you think is the criticality of the skills. Interesting. So as you can see that the results are out. We can stop responding now, and the results are pretty appalling. We've ranked emotional intelligence to be the top skill, followed by presentation. And of course, now presentation has been bumped up. Fantastic. I think this gives me a fair idea of what do we understand or which skills do you think are important for us when it comes to communication. Thanks, Aditya, for that survey. We can pause that for now.
Thank you, Mamatha.
Okay, so you have seen that you have ranked a certain set of skills according to the importance of what you think is currently required in the business scenario. There is no right and wrong answer to it, and definitely depending on the kind of role you plan to take up, these skills will vary in importance. But you might have also noticed that the skills that are listed over there do not call out about speaking alone. There are a host of other skills that are embedded into the communication skills. So let's understand what communication skills is. There are multiple definitions of the skill, but one of my personal favorites, which was shared to me by one of our trainees, was this. Communication skills are a set of activities that ultimately make a quality public performance. Well, I'm not a performer, right? So why do I need to be bothered about it? What we mean by quality public performance is you might not be great with your language, but if you are able to present your thoughts in a manner that can convince people who are listening to you, or is able to provide information to the people, you have done a good job with your communication skills, right? So it's a quality public performance and an absolute need both in personal and professional lives. To help you understand, I have a story for you. I hope you all like stories. So here's a story, and I have also given you the link to YouTube so that you can watch it. I might not be able to narrate it that well, but then definitely you can watch it at your convenience. So this story is about speed dating. I hope you all know about speed dating. This is a concept where people go to a particular event where you get to interact with people, and if you people from the opposite sex, and if somebody interests you, you can go ahead on a date with that person. So this particular gentleman found the right match after having an eventful evening of not being able to finalize on somebody. Somehow he managed to find the right match. And of course, you can see the joy in his face. He's elated. And after the 20-second time or the 1 minute time that they're given to interact, they need to show a green or a red card to indicate whether they would like to date this person. So obviously, the joy in the face is pretty evident because the lady also picked up the green card. So when the organizers invite them over to the dais, to announce that this is the first couple of the evening, his reaction changed to this. Now, I might not be able to show you the video on why the reaction changed to it, and I can leave it for you to assume. But let me quickly tell you what had happened. In the 1 minute that he was given to interact with the lady, he was so mesmerized by her, he just did not interact with her. And when they reached the dais, the lady excuses herself and brings three children with her who start calling him a dad. So that's exactly what can happen when you don't communicate when you have the opportunity. While this is a funny take on how important communication is, this is just to help you understand that communication is absolutely essential both in your personal and your professional lives. Communicate to succeed, deliberate to stagnate. So, this is one of the best lessons that I've learned in the early start of my career. I always believe that when I am doing some work, my work should speak for myself or my resume should speak for me. Why should I talk about it? But what I have learned eventually is it's absolutely important that you communicate in order to succeed. And what we are saying by that is not that you have to go ahead and root your skills and talk about it and promote yourself. But what we mean by this is how do you ensure that you build that brand for yourself through effective communication. So before I talk more on this, I have another question that's coming up, and I would like to see whether you think it is essential or not essential. Aditya, the second question, please.
Here we are. So again, it's the same code. Do you think everyone needs to exhibit or talk about their accomplishments? Yes or no? So just go to the link and give your answer.
Interesting. We'll just give it a couple of seconds more. Right. Okay, so I think the maximum takers have voted for a true, and we have a few contemplators on false. The number going down and up. There's no right or wrong answer, guys, so you can go ahead and respond. All right, let's pause it over here. And I think 7 people have responded to a true and 4 have responded to a false, which itself is a good response. But yes, times have changed now where, thanks, Aditya. Times have changed now where we no longer have only our resume to talk about ourselves. Take this cue for the first time, or for the first 2 or 3 instances when you are exploring jobs. That's the only time you should rely on job portals. After that, it should be through your networking, through the relationships that you have built, and of course through the way you interact in every social forum. Back in those days when we started our careers, we did not have so many opportunities to leverage. But nowadays you have so many forums where you can build that network. You have the TEDx forums, you have the technical forums, you have organizations like these, like Training Vision, that build in that kind of a network for students to leverage potential outside as well. And of course, you also have your social networking channels that can speak volumes for you. So you will need to communicate in any of these forums as well in order to build that. Through deliberation, you will only stagnate. Definitely success can come to you, but maybe not at the right shape and size, and definitely not at the right time. So these are generally the 3 strategies when it comes to creating that aura for yourself, or how do you bring in that visibility for yourself, as most people talk about it in the corporate industry. Do little, talk much. Well, this is one strategy that could be effective right away, but in the long run you might not be able to sustain it, because obviously you can only make up stories to the extent that you have the story bank. After that, your actions will start speaking. Do it, expect to be talked about. Silent doers are very effective people when it comes to outcomes. However, if you do not talk about what you are doing and expect your work to speak for yourself, you might get success in the long run, but probably if you have to be very patient about it. So it's a long-term strategy. Do it, talk about it. This is the best strategy if you ask me. Whatever you do talk about it to the extent that it is relevant, and of course coherent to whatever you are applying for, or whatever you're presenting for, so that it works for you. And when you follow this strategy, you become discoverable. Now, you might ask me, I'm a student, I'm just out of college, and I don't have any kind of work experience. How do I talk about myself? Every individual has a story that begins right from the time you start your education. I am sure colleges these days are not just focusing on academics. You have a host of other activities and events that you might be involved in. So identify what your story is and talk about it. Your skill set development should not begin after you start working. I'm personally not impressed when somebody says, why do you want to join us? And I hear the answer as, I want to learn on the job. If I really don't want to hire somebody who will sit and learn on the job. I expect them to be ready for the job, right? So even as a fresher, I would expect people to have some skill set brought onto the table, which means your learning should begin much ahead of time, and your investment in your learning should start early. Fortunately, you have many institutes and consultancies which can help you through it. And of course, a lot of training institutes are now driving most of their courses to make you employable. So if you are planning to invest in something, these are the best things that you can invest upon when it comes to yourself. So be discoverable. How can you become discoverable? Here is one nice acronym that I could come up with. I know ABC sounds very technical for some reason, but somehow I couldn't think of a better acronym that I could come up with. So the first one, the stands for authenticate, V stands for validate, and C stands for communicate. try and be as genuine as possible when you're presenting yourself, whether it's in an interview, whether it is in a progression interview, or whether it is you just presenting yourself. What we mean by authenticate is first try and analyze what your skill set is. I know not everybody might be able to do that, but you can certainly rely on people and places that can help you get there, right? I see a lot of people copy pasting the resumes from the internet, and these days, internet is such a blessing. You get answers for everything, and probably someday you might find answers on how to go to the moon as well, and you might plan one trip there soon. However, it is all about how genuine you are. Like I have said, everybody has a story, and the story can start quite early in life as well. You might be part of a sports club, you might be part of a event that your college has organized, you might have represented your college for an event. You might have been given a responsibility to handle by your professors. You might have taken on the responsibility on your own to ensure that you can prove a skill set. So your story is that you will need to latch on to these skills, find what is genuine about you, not the skill set that defines there. What you can definitely copy from the internet or learn from the internet is better words to present the same thing. However, your skill set has to be truly you. After you have identified your skill set, validate it. What do we mean by validation? Sometimes people introduce them in the most uh, flowery way as possible, just like we've seen my introduction in the beginning. But when you are cross questioned by a recruiter about, so you said you are result oriented, can you give me an instance where you've demonstrated that? If you are a person who has some work experience, I'm sure you'll be able to answer that question. But as a fresher, as a person who did not have much exposure into the industry, you might find it difficult to answer, but you don't have to fret over it. When you are able to identify a genuine skill, you will be able to support it with where you have demonstrated that skill set as well. So it's really important you validate that. And when you validate, you will obviously be able to communicate that in a much better fashion than what you could do when you just picked off some skill set from elsewhere. I know we are moving into a techno-functional environment where a lot of skill sets are very technical in nature, and you would just want to embed it into your resume. But even those can be learned. Those are hard skills which can be learned. And if you can identify what are the skill set that will match to your current level of learning, you can definitely learn those skills even in an environment like this. Even in a situation like COVID, there are so many places that are offering certain courses that can really benefit you. So do some R&D around you and try and identify what are the skill sets, and you can definitely benefit out of it. And why are we insisting so much on communication skills? So this is a very nice survey that was done by LinkedIn Learning, and I've just taken it off from there. The skill companies need the most in 2020. As you can see, you have the hard skills and the soft skills. And if you look at the soft skills, because hard skills are anyways can be learned, even as a person from recruiting, we'll not be much worried about how much level of hard skills you possess, because we will eventually train you on it. But soft skills are hard to train in the little time frame that we have, and we are not uh, you know manufacturers of perfect communicators. We expect you to come with some set of communication so that we can then invest only on the hard skills. So creativity, persuasion, collaboration, adaptability, and emotional intelligence are ranked as the top 5 skills. And needless to say that in the current scenario, which is the post-COVID scenario, these skills have become even more pertinent with remote working increasing up to 48% in industries even like banking and finance, where remote working was never thought of. It's breaking those shackles now. So remote working has increased. Organizations are soon moving into hybrid way of work. So with the employment of these kind of working ways, it's really important that your communication skills are in line with that. What I mean by that is when I'm remotely working, the only channel I have to connect with my team, my client, or my organization is the way I communicate. It could be verbal, it could be written, whatever it is. The organizations are also moving towards agile work way. Traditionally, project work or project presentations were only done by the project manager, and the rest of the team would contribute to the project. But now it is all changing. You have to speak for yourself. You are given a responsibility within that project, and every day you have to contribute to how much you have done. The client is also now looking at connecting individually with each person in the project team to understand where we are. So agile makes workway much more dynamic. And of course, organizations are moving forward. A lot of organizations have already adapted to this way of work, and that is what helps them stay ahead in the competition, because now it is all about how quickly you can deliver and how flexible you are when it comes to delivering projects. So this is another very key thing that right now every sector is looking for in terms of when we are hiring people. Client management, of course, you will learn it eventually as you progress in your career, but it's really important for you to start conversations here. Client management as a fresher, it's about how you can start a conversation. It's really important that you connect with your clients, because that is what builds that long term relationship with them as well. And of course, some more finer skills around how do you manage conversations, how do you handle questions that come your way, how do you handle stress. You and I are working in an environment where all of us are going through stressful times, and there could be times when the stress falls on your work as well. How do you handle that pressure? A lot of virtual meetings are now happening. Earlier we used to have chai pe charcha. We used to connect as a team, sit and discuss what's happening, what is the strategy for this project. But now it is all virtual. We are all tool dependent. We even discuss everything on tools, and then we get going. So virtual meetings being the key. If you're a silent doer, you will not be able to create that visibility for yourself. And of course, emerging needs in data management. Even if you're somebody who prefers a desk job, you still need to have the ability to present what you are doing. So, all in all, in short, to summarize this, communication has become even more important. 85% of the recruitment is looked at through communication and the softer skills now, than compared to 5 years ago. Because for me, work becomes easier when you're already there at a communication skills, and I just have to add a little bit of hard skills or whatever technology you need to work upon, and I have a ready product for me. So that's how important communication skill is, guys. And you can see that there is a very nice survey done by British Council, and the declining trend of skills and the growing trend of skills that you see, apart from two or three skills that highlight about technology, the rest of it is all about soft skills and communication, creativity, originality, critical thinking, complex problem solving, leadership, social influence. Most people, what I have noticed is that they think that this all these skills are required much later, after I complete 5 or 6 years of my work. That is when I will need them. But I'm sorry, my friend, it's not the same case now. Like I said, your resume will only help you the first instance. After that, it's how you demonstrate the skill sets that will help you grow in your career or progress in your career to whichever roles that you are expecting to be in. So if you haven't really thought about communication being an important skill so far, it is only required for me to present in an interview, then I'm sorry. You will have to really spruce it up. And like I said, if ever you're planning to invest in yourself for something good, this is the right time to do, because post COVID situation, a lot of companies are opening channels for hiring. And of course, this being a key skill set and something that you can eventually learn as well, please start investing in it and start learning from it. So while I pause to take a sip of water, I want you to read the statements and see if any of it matches or resonates with you. If you have answered yes for at least five of them, which means you're a natural communicator. And who is a natural communicator? Somebody who loves to talk, like me, of course, and somebody who likes to present, somebody who enjoys working with people, somebody who enjoys working in an environment where communication is involved. If you're a natural communicator like that, you have some trending careers that you can explore. As an individual, you can get into mass media, you can get into designing, creative writing, blogging. Advisory services are taking on right now. Since we do a lot of offshoring work these days, a lot of companies are relying on offshoring work. Advisory services are playing a very, very key role across industries, because people really want to get their work done, and advisors are the best people to do it. But the key skill an advisor should have is the ability to convince, talk, problem solve, and also present. Organizations, as organizations, some of the key roles that are right now niche are internal communication. This is one. Just like clients expect a lot of information flow to come towards them, similarly even employees require regular updates, regular information of what is happening in and around them. So it's really important that there is a channel where communication flows, and internal communication is one such channel. Culture manager is a very new role that has come, although it is an embedded role into HR. What you can also get, adding this can add a little more value to whatever role you play, because it is about how you nurture this company culture and build on it. Engagement expert, this is another new role that is recently coming up in many organizations, especially in top tier organizations. The idea is to retain workforce because of the remote work environment. It's really important that you keep employees engaged, and this is one exciting role that you can be in. I have personally played this role, and it is exciting, rewarding, and of course, if you're somebody who loves getting your hands dirty, which is you like solving problems, you want fluidity in your work, you want every day to be challenging and different, this is the role that you should take on. And of course, involves very key skills in this role: talent development, which is nothing but training, acquisition, recruitment, and of course, marketing as well. Client facing roles are also some roles that you can explore if you're somebody who is a natural communicator. Like I said, advisory services, even in organizations, they need somebody who can liaise between the client and the team to bounce off the heat that's coming towards them. So advisory services is a nice role to be in. Client management, earlier on, every time there is a new launch, the client would visit the campus or the organization, and there should be one person who hosts the client. But nowadays the trend is changing. Client wants a remote way of working everything. So how do you present it? How do you bridge the gap? How do you make these interactions more effective is what is all part of client services. Grievance management, addressing redressals, taking up concerns from the client and solving them. So a lot of problem solving ability is required, critical thinking is required, and of course transition management. New businesses are coming in, and it is all about how do you build, or how do you ensure that your company's vision mission matches to the client, and how do you bridge about that gap. It is too early to start for you in these kind of roles, but certainly you can. The reason why I'm sharing this with you today is, if you are somebody who thinks that just communication cannot get you anywhere, I am showing you few roles that you can start exploring right away. You might not be great at your academics, never mind. If you are able to build in the skill sets that can help you dive through, you should certainly try some of these careers. These are exciting, they will keep you charged, and definitely these are roles that require soft skills, which you can definitely learn from places that can benefit you. So this is another survey by Deloitte, and as you can see, the increasing importance of soft skills. I'm not going to talk about it much, but you can certainly look at it and you can understand how much it is trending. The roles in soft skills and communication skills will increase 63%, and that's a very big number. And of course, businesses' need for leadership and development skills is growing higher with the work way that is changing. So, all in all, guys, in short, what I would like to communicate to you is, if you want to be successful in your careers, whether you're starting your career now, whether you have progressed a little into your career, and even if you're at a brink where you are already stagnated at a career and you want to explore, first start working on your communication skills and look at the benefit that you can have when you explore opportunities. It is a cherry on the cake, certainly, and it can definitely get you there, but you will need to work towards it a bit. On that note, I would like to congratulate all of you for taking the lead to start honing your skills. If you're here today, which means you really wanted to make the difference in the way you're approaching your careers. So that's a good start by itself. You can certainly reach out to people, like-minded people like us on LinkedIn, who can help you refine your careers. And of course, there are organizations that I'll hand it over to Aditya, who will talk about what else you can explore and how you can benefit with it. On that note, thank you so much for having me over here. Special thanks to Training Vision and, of course, my mentor, Indira, for inviting me over today. Thank you, Aditya.
Thank you, Mamatha. I think that this is a rocket ship. I think you took us all through something that was really, really important and really current and relevant. You gave us all an insight into what's actually happening inside the industry. Uh, and you spoke about the strategy and of not over communicating without doing, but the authentication, validation, and communication. That's a fantastic framework. I've seen many resumes, candidates who don't really validate, who don't display their project portfolio, who don't talk about their capability. They use a lot of these jargon from the internet, and it's quite risky for the company to explore such candidates. It's also risky for the candidate to even get the job, and later when the job is they have to deliver the job, they're struggling. So these are all a lot of things, and nowadays there's a lot of unfortunately what we see at TVI is a lot of these companies come out there and say, hey, you know what, in 2 hours we make you an expert, or in 10 in 10 minutes, or in 1 hour you become a communication expert. It's not like that. This is not a sprint, this is a marathon. What we need is practice, practice, practice. And I can see a lot of practice in you, and you speak. The Toastmasters, the British Council, all of the background, all the experience of recruiting, it really shows. And thanks for really inspiring us. So let me do a little bit of a commercial, uh, but actually it's more of really something about what we really believe in at TVI. Just for everybody to know, Training Vision is Singapore's leading private higher education and skill development organization. We have 120,000 learners so far, and we're growing, expanding into Vietnam, Philippines, US, and now India. And we're really setting out on a social impact business model to really bring world class technical and transferable skills to emerging economies. And some of the transferable skills that Mamatha has mentioned, we're happy to share that we're actually aligned with the top 10 skills that are growing, that are accelerating, be it critical thinking or problem solving, or presentation skills, and persuasion, influence, these people skills. People think that these are soft skills. Yes, there are soft skills, but they're not only soft, they're really valuable. I think Mamatha has probably convinced you guys. Nowadays the half life, that means if you learn a technical skill, uh, the validity of that skill, the relevance of the skill is maybe 2 years or 1 year, because a new technology or a new software, a new skill comes and replaces that skill really fast. What will really safeguard and give you a resilient career is definitely your personality and your values, which was spoken to about in the last session by Nicholas. If you've missed that session, you can actually check it out. And the second thing is how you express that personality, how you communicate that and share your experience, share your learnings, do the work, but also talk about it, as Mamatha mentioned. So wonderful session. So this is what we do. We want to create 21st century global citizens. We're so excited. We're thrilled to launch the Enable program, which is a 21st century workplace readiness certification. This is accredited by Skills Future Singapore workplace readiness framework, where at TVI we're looking at these 9 core competencies, be it teamwork, learning to learn, personal effectiveness, emotional intelligence, innovation, interview skills, all of these things, effective communication. So with these skills, we're also providing our N-code assessment, which is a career readiness psychometric assessment, which is backed by AI, where we really look at, what are your competencies, where are you at with each of these particular skills, what careers suit you really well basing on your competencies. And we're able to give all of this, and we're so excited to share that we're able to provide international internship and India based internship opportunities to all of our candidates, along with reviewing your resume, CVs, and also providing you with a certain interview coaching. Moving on, uh, do register for the program until 15th of June. This is a quite an expensive program from Singapore. We're really looking to democratize and bring it to everybody. Uh, Government of India is also talking about these 21st century skills, and we're so happy that we're able to offer these. So do check it out, and you have the registration link on the screen, bit.ly/tvi enable. uh, Hope to see you, and so excited to launch this program. And moving on, so thank you so much. Next week we have another exciting session by Milda. Milda Latakaide. She's from Norway. She's a master trainer. She's a best-selling author globally, and she's also going to facilitate a really interesting workshop on another important competence, that is self-awareness. So I hope to see all of you next Saturday, and call your friends, call your colleagues. And once again, I thank Mamatha for gracing this occasion, and giving us so many insights, including the insights on what are those hot or top jobs that emerging or trending jobs that are coming up. I think that's such a good insight. I would, if I was starting out my career, I totally jump at that. And communicating not only on your resume, on social media, but also networking and connecting. The fact that you spoke about it, at TVI, our community is also something similar. We're creating that peer-to-peer connections. We're bringing that industry connections to the students. We're bringing industry and academia. So these are connections that are so important. So excited. And have a great weekend, Saturdays, and have a great week, everybody. So see you all, and thank you.
Thank you.